So many of you might have been a big fan of the hit television show The Office. Me personally, I liked The Office. I thought it was a really funny show, very creative. I have not, like many of my friends, seen every single episode, nor do I know many of the characters' names, but I've seen a handful of episodes and I really thought it was great. But I remember in particular, and I was thinking about this morning, the last episode, the final episode, the season finale. And one of the characters was sitting in a chair just talking to the camera. And I mean, it was kind of like this retrospect, looking back on everything. And the character looked at the camera. He said, "I wish someone was there to tell me that I was in the good old days when I was in the good old days. I wish someone was there to tell me that I was in the good old days when I was actually in the good old days." And I don't know why that hit me. And I don't know why I was thinking about that this morning while I was making breakfast. But I think there's so much truth to that. Most of you are probably like me in the fact that you spend a lot of time examining and thinking about what's wrong. So you spend a lot of time looking at, your business or what you've got going on in your personal life, and sometimes those things that aren't going well that need attention can dominate our field of vision, and we can so easily miss out on the fact that we might very well be in the days that one day in the future we consider to be the good old days. And me personally, I don't want to miss out on that. I'll be transparent for just a second. There are days I am in ministry. I'm a pastor, and I love what I get to do. I consider myself one of the most blessed people on the face of the planet to get to pastor the greatest church on the face of the planet. Like, I love what I get to do. But there's days that's difficult. There are days where things seem so slow moving, or honestly feels like we're moving backwards. There are days where you're ministering and you're loving on people and you're not seeing the fruit and the results that you prayed that you would see. I mean, that's just me being honest. And so there's a lot of days where my attention is kind of focused on, hey, this needs to be improved. Hey, we need to work on this. Hey, this needs to be fine-tuned. And I can so easily miss that there are so many aspects of my life right now that I know one day in the future I'm going to look back on and consider to be the good old days. I don't want to be so focused on things that need attention in my life that I forget that, I have the opportunity to be a dad to two young girls right now. And there's coming a day where they don't want to go to the pool with me every single night like they do this summer. And I want to embrace those moments. I want to embrace the season that I am in right now. I think the scriptures help us with this. In the Psalms, Psalm 118 to be exact, verse 24, the psalmist writes this: "This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it." This is the day that the Lord has made, and let us rejoice and be glad in it. And I think this is timely because of the 4th of July coming up, the holiday weekend, the long holiday weekend, because the 4th falls on a Monday instead of like on a Thursday or a Wednesday, which is always weird when that happens. But many of us will have the opportunity to maybe set aside some of the things that aren't going well, that need fine-tuning, that need to be fixed. We can set those things aside and we can actually focus this 4th of July holiday on the things that are in our lives that we really are blessed to have, like our families, like our friends. Go to a barbecue, eat too much food, shoot some fireworks off, go watch a fireworks show, go play on the lake, go to the beach. All these things, we have the opportunity to do that. And I think that's what the psalmist is calling us to do. Rejoice in the Lord always and in all these days. And I believe so many of us have so many reasons to rejoice in the Lord. And the last reason that I'll kind of give us that I think for Christians is so huge to remember. In verses 22 and 23, right before verse 24, where the psalmist writes, let us rejoice in the Lord today. This is the day he's made. Verse 22 says this: "The stone that the builders rejected has become the cornerstone. This is the Lord's doing. It is marvelous in our eyes." And if you're familiar with your New Testament, you know that those verses are referring to Jesus. They're referring to the fact that Jesus was rejected, and ultimately he became the cornerstone of our faith. And so no matter what you've got going on this weekend, maybe you've got so much to rejoice in this holiday weekend, or maybe you're struggling and there's a lot of things you've got up in the air that give you very little reason to feel like you need to rejoice. But if you're in Christ, you have a reason to rejoice, because ultimately the stone that the builders rejected has become the capstone. or the cornerstone, and that stone has changed your life forever. So anyway, I hope you guys have a great 4th of July weekend. I hope that we all get to spend some time rejoicing in the Lord, enjoying the blessings He's given us. And I'm sure I will see everyone back here soon.